Hi there, I'm Dr. Francesca Zampollo, and as you know, I talk about food design. In this video, I want to talk to you about a new book that just came out called Sustainable Value Creation in Hospitality, Guests on Earth, edited by Professor Elena Cavagnaro. We have also just recently done a whole live webinar with Professor Cavagnaro, which I would encourage you to go and look. You'll find the link in the description below. The book is an edited book where we find 2 articles by Professor Elena Cavagnaro and 13 articles by other authors divided into 4 chapters. The 4 chapters are distribution, buildings, purchasing, and operations. So the book looks at sustainable value creation within these 4 themes, chapters of hospitality. For this reason, I think this is a very interesting book for anybody who is interested, who works in the hospitality, in the food hospitality industry. Hotels have restaurants that is part of hospitality, food hospitality, and restaurants and cafes themselves, and really whatever type of food service where guests are made to be welcome. An interesting thing that I like about this book, which is not very common to all edited books, is that at the beginning of each chapter there is a learning goals summary, so you can quickly see what you're going to learn with that chapter. I'm not going to go through the entire book, but I do want to go through a couple of things that we find in one of the chapters, articles by Professor Elena Cavagnaro, because I think that these in particular are going to be very, very valuable to anybody interested in designing anything that has to do with food and who wants to be sustainability conscious. An organization creates value when the costs of producing and delivering a good or service are lower than the benefits gained by selling it. In other words, value is not only considered in economic terms, but may include social costs such as health problems caused by unsafe working conditions and social benefits such as the creation of jobs. The definition also includes environmental costs such as water pollution and environmental benefits such as renewable energy. Yet in contemporary business management thought, the concept of value is largely explained with an exclusive reference to the financial bottom line of a company. Value is considered to be the same as profit and is realized when the economic cost of producing and distributing a good or service are less than the economic benefits gained by selling it. Businesses that pursue value creation only on the economic bottom line might put people and our planet at risk. In other words, the costs that the business has avoided to pay have not ceased to exist, but have been passed on to other people and to the natural environment. These costs might not appear in the business financial accounts, yet they have still to be met. In the long term, the country where these people live will be confronted with the social issues such as young men and women with no education and work, the children who used to work but were dismissed when they reached adulthood, and environmental issues such as water pollution that could lead to illness and crop failures. What this example teaches us is that cutting costs can go too far and damage people and our planet. Value creation is sustainable only if it creates values along economical, social, and environmental dimensions all at the same time. Value creation is sustainable only if it creates value along economic, social, and the environmental dimensions all at the same time. Profit, in fact, contributes to the economic development of a society. Care for people at the level of organizations contributes to social development at society level because, for example, working conditions are safe and the health of workers is not jeopardized. Care for the planet at the level of organizations contributes to environmental value at society level because, for example, water and soil are not polluted in the production of goods and services. So we see how Professor Cavagnaro is explaining to us how important it is to design for profit, for society, and for the environment all together, all at the same time. This is how we create value, real value. Another point that I find really interesting in this article is this question that she asks. Which motives guide the decision-making process of basically designers or managers or whoever designs or manages a food hospitality service and business? There are three main sets of motives. The first set is constituted by our desire to meet our immediate and less immediate needs, such as the need for food and drink, the need for warm clothes and shelter, and the desire to enjoy life. So what are the reasons why we design what we design? What are the reasons why people buy the food they buy? First of all, is because we need food and drink to survive, we need warm clothes, we need shelter, and we need to enjoy life. And this need has been labeled care for me. The second set of motives derive from our need to bond and build meaningful relationship with others. This has been labeled care for me and for you. The third set of motives reflect the deep understanding that our life is part of a larger web of life. And this has been labeled care for all. And in this diagram, we see how Professor Cavagnaro relates the economic value to care for me, profit, the social value to care for me and you, the need to have meaningful relationship with people at the organizational level. And then she relates the environmental value or the planet aspect at the organizational level to care for all. And I think this is very interesting because if we think about this when we design, where do we want to design? Do we want to design just for care for me, basically to have money? Do we want to design relationship between people? Or do we want to go a step even further and design environmental value, which means that we are designing for everybody. We are designing because we care for all. And in that sense, we care about the planet. So that's why we have to design, I think, considering all these three dimensions of sustainability, all at the same time. And then the article continues explaining the principles of sustainable value creation. To design an organization that creates sustainable values, we need to know and understand the general principles of sustainability. So here is a summary of it, sustainability dimension and principles. So our sustainability dimensions are economic value and profit, social value and people, and environmental value or the planet. And the principles are for the environmental value, prosperity or financial health and continuity. For social value, do no harm and also do good. For the environmental value of the planet, do no harm to the planet, which means zero waste, but also do good for the planet. Restore planet Earth capacity to support life. We've already done a lot of damage, so it's not enough to not do harm. It's even better to do good. Restore the planet and planet Earth capacity to support life. So whatever you are designing, if you want to design in a sustainable way, if you want to design for sustainability, for all three aspects of sustainability, which are all equally important really, then use this table, use these principles to guide your design. And of course, all of these principles are actually somehow embedded in my food design thinking process, for example, and in the food design thinking method that I have already proposed and that you can find as books in the description below. This is just a little extract from one article of this book. The book is way bigger and with way more information, very useful information. I would advise you to go and check it out, and if you think it really speaks to you, you can buy it, of course, and I'll leave a link for where to buy it in the description below. Thank you, Professor Elena Cavagnaro, for sharing this book with me. And also I want to remind you guys that I just did a webinar with Professor Elena Cavagnaro, and you can find the link again in the description below. As always, thank you for watching. Have a lovely day and happy food design.